In quiet corners of our city, behind rusted gates and beneath tangles of overgrown vines, lie cemeteries that have been forgotten as the communities around them move on. Historic cemeteries, an integral part of the tapestry of every city, tell a story not just of neglect, but of possibility.
7 years ago, my husband and I were drawn to this beautiful home in a forested area of Dallas, though right next door happened to be a historic cemetery that was neglected. 2 years later, I became a master naturalist and a master gardener student and quickly learned I was living next door to a natural disaster. So I gathered my neighbors and we went to work 3 months every weekend to clear the privet. But what's so extraordinary is Engelmann daisies and blackland prairie grasses bloomed as if remembering themselves.
This sparked the birth of a new movement, the Constellation of Living Memorials, a visionary 2-year pilot program created by the Friends of the Warren Ferris Cemetery, a 501c3, was started to bridge the gap between humanity and nature and realize the potential for life buried in each historic cemetery. Oakland Cemetery, a 47-acre cemetery located in Dallas's southern sector, is part of the 2-year pilot program, along with 4 other historic cemeteries.
The cemetery had really been neglected for a really long time. When we first came out here, because of the tremendous amount of overgrowth, there was a lot of criminal activity taking place out here. And clearing it all and getting to a point where you can now see through the cemetery and cars that are coming and going and whatnot, we don't see that anymore. We were able to build trust with our families because we did spend 4 years clearing the ground and cleaning it up. And so they were able to come out and see the tremendous amount of work and progress that was made in returning dignity to the final burial space. So when we decided to turn around and take a few acres off of that 47 and say, okay, we're dedicating this strictly to prairie preservation. We had a few people that questioned, why isn't this area getting mowed? Why isn't this area under the maintenance plan and whatnot? But we were able to explain to them what the overall goal was.
That trust has led to some incredible results and opportunities for the Constellation of Living Memorials to leverage more partnerships for the greatest amount of impact. For example, in collaboration with Texas Trees Foundation, over the course of just 4 work days, 48 volunteers from 7 organizations were able to remove approximately 1.25 acres of invasive vegetation. This makes a huge difference for families who are now able to access the grave sites of loved ones and ancestors. Transformation continues with intentional native landscape design to support wildlife. The Oakland Cemetery Wildflower Memorial is an area dedicated to the remembrance of 300 victims of fungal meningitis buried here in 1913 without any type of marker. Now, their memory is honored with a vibrant array of native wildflowers and grasses. This small pond provides water to local wildlife. The Constellation secured grant funding through the North Texas Master Naturalist chapter, creating a class project, empowering students to lead native landscape design at Oakland Cemetery, including installing the pond, creating the Wildflower Memorial, and participating in flora-fauna surveys. Inspired by this experience, the class created the Oakland Prairie Preservation Project. In all 5 participating historic cemeteries, we now see native plants blooming in multitudes, and native insects and wildlife taking residence in these renewed spaces.
We're here to create a beautiful final resting place for everyone that's here and return the dignity to all of those buried here and also respect the land. Mother Nature doesn't stop. We've got to work in tandem and not work against it.
Giving Mother Nature space to transform herself creates space for transformation in communities. Community partnerships pave the way for these transformations to extend even further.
Constellation of Living Memorials had this project of reviving abandoned or neglected cemeteries. Well, Julie, she wanted to involve youth in her project. And we love the idea because she came out with one project that we are very interested in here in Dallas County, because we are an urban program and we don't have that much space for livestock and agriculture like is traditionally known by 4-H programs. We want to teach kids about entomology, the study of bugs. With the help of Constellation of Living Memorials, one of the cemeteries that are part of the project, and the Compassion Center in Dallas, we started to recruit kids to actually deliver a 10-lesson program of combined curriculum of beekeeping and entomology. And they love the idea of teaching the community that reach out to them every day and teaching the youth those subject areas. So it was amazing. We had a really good program. Right now it's actually a 4-H club, and they are meeting pretty much every week. And they are learning along with Constellation of Living Memorials and the cemetery about wildlife. And believe me, this is a small cemetery in the middle of the city. The things that they have done in that cemetery is amazing.
Outside of funeral, cemetery is like off limits, whether it was active or inactive. These learning spaces that is with these historic graveyards is highly important. You don't get this in school, so exposing them to this level of nature from a controlled learning environment with these historic cemeteries is going to be key for their development.
There is a public value, not only to recover a piece of history and beautifying it and transforming it to a classroom, but also to bring communities together and bring youth, which is our future, to teach them something new or something that they can't get anywhere else.
Albert Carver Cemetery, the perfect backdrop for the 4-H Club's outdoor portion, is a small family cemetery on the corner of a large, busy intersection. The family has spent years and money trying to fix the same fences over and over while maintaining the cemetery itself. In the last couple of years, as they've participated in the pilot program for the Constellation, they've begun to make other kinds of changes to allow more space for wildlife and native plants. This year, after dealing with damage from hit and runs over and over, the Carver family was able to install $2,675 worth of large rocks around the perimeter to help protect the fence. This was made possible with grant funding obtained by the Constellation.
We're going to put the boulders right behind the guardrail and eventually move the fence line as close back as we possibly can, because we've got the historical marker right there. We recently had the 2 infants' headstones repaired. We're hoping that placing the boulders will eliminate any more of the damage to the fence. It will be hopefully the end of our headache over here with the constant hit and runs.
Each cemetery is unique and has its own personality. Western Heights Cemetery shows us a beautiful contrast. Here we can find the headstone of Clyde Barrow, of Bonnie and Clyde fame, or a humble, homemade cement headstone lovingly engraved by hand. The work of preservation is essential, and it takes many forms. The Constellation also provides repair workshops at the partner cemeteries. This ensures that headstones are being cared for appropriately, and the legacy they represent can be appreciated for many years. Grants through the Constellation enabled another remarkable partnership.
My name is Van Johnson. I'm the volunteer coordinator here at Western Heights Cemetery. I'm having a blast on this project. We are one of the 5 pilot cemeteries for the Constellation of Living Memorials, and we are in the second half of the second year. The Constellation of Living Memorials obtained the $30,000 Texas Historical Foundation grant. We have come a long way. We've used the money to plant a lot of native plants And also the mowing hiatus has allowed our native seed bank to emerge, and we have a remarkable amount of diversity because of that. The Constellation of Living Memorials also obtained a $30,000 grant from the Summerlee Foundation. Victoria Clow teaches anthropology at Dallas College. She was hired to have her students, which they've done in many other cemeteries, professionally clean these headstones. We did a screen scrape of everything on Find a Grave, and then Victoria Clow's students, when they were done cleaning, then they went back through and they noted the condition of every stone, whether it was cracked, tilted, leaning, chipped, scratched. So all that's recorded.
This one-year study conducted by Victoria Clow and her students concluded with an open-sourced Constellation of Living Memorial cultural archaeological curriculum for students nationwide.
My goal is for Western Heights Cemetery to be the best researched historical cemetery in Dallas County.
Thanks to a large network of dedicated volunteers, this important work can continue, and the Constellation of Living Memorials can take the transformation of sacred spaces into even more communities.
It's a peaceful place, and like I said, if you're trying to make your mind up or you got something heavy that's weighing on you, this is definitely a place that you would just want to come walk through. This is a lot of acres, and if people could really come out here and see how it looks now from where it came from, I think they would be inspired to do better or be like us.
This place right here, it has the potential to be one of the most beautiful cemeteries in the country.
Through the transformation of these sacred spaces, we begin to experience an authentic sense of place and allow future generations to see where they've come from.
There are over 15,000 cemeteries in Texas. A third of them are neglected. So you can imagine the impact that we can make even if we just take 1/10 of the third and restore them back into wildlife habitats. We're living in a time when the divide between people and planet has grown too wide. But I've seen it, how community members, given the chance, come alive when they're offered a role in restoration. It's not just work, it's healing. The Constellation of Living Memorials invites us to reimagine death, to celebrate the circle of life.
We always would joke that there's way more living going on at Oakland than there is dying.